Ayan, we're gonna eat first. We have a free meal from the ano ba to? Yung package na binili namin. May free meal na pala siya. So, we're gonna eat first. We have a free meal from the ano ba to? Yung package na binili namin. May free meal na pala siya. So, we're gonna eat. Ayan. Akin na din. Ha? Okay, let's go. Thank you. Bye-bye. Go eat. Hershey World. Saan tayo? Walang table? Yun. Halika na, bilis, Nicole. Nagmamadali. Ayun pala, oh. Doon tayo, ate. Ay, pwede ba dito? Baka mahulog. Oh, sige. Ito yung pinili ko sa free meal. Nicole, look at this. Chili bean. Ito kay ate, salad. Break time kaming mabilis. Naiiwan kami ng schedule namin. Nagpa-reschedule kami. Ayan, kakain naman na kami ng mabilis. Nawala pa yung toy ni Nicole. Bye! See you later. Kain mo na. Mwah! Bakit? You are happy? She's happy, but she's a little sad now because she lost her toy. Don't worry, we're gonna ask on the ride. Okay? Kain ka namin. We're gonna go there. Unwrap. Oh, okay. Thank you.
These are 5 senses of tasteology. These are otherwise known as our 5 key senses, which are sight, smell, touch, hearing, and taste. In other words, we need to take our time. Did you all know that there are over 600 flavors associated with chocolate? And these 600 flavors are sorted into 6 flavor families. We have 3, floral, earthy, spicy, sweet, and dairy. Okay, class, it's time to review. How many flavor families do we have? 6. That's right. Isn't that great? So now that we know we have 6 flavor families, let's see which one we can taste. When we take out our snack-sized Hershey milk chocolate bar. Okay.
This is what we got.
Now, unwrap the chocolate bar. Keep your fingers on the wrapper. Otherwise, they get all messy. And don't eat the chocolate yet. Don't do it, little big girl. Resist. Resist. Just look at it.
Look at it. Look at it now. Look at it.
Notice how the colors of luster start.
Look at it.
And
Look at
the
it,
surface
Nicole.
has
Let me
that nice shine.
Let me see.
Well, that's classic milk chocolate for you. Second sense of tasteology, smell.
Smell daw,
Bring
smell.
that chocolate bar
Smell.
to your sniffer and take a whiff. What
Lick.
y'all smell?
Lick. Lick mo daw. Lick.
I've got a delicious block of cheese.
One time.
Well, you see, cheese is a dairy product. It's made from milk. It's certainly worth a try putting in. There you go. Well, please go ahead and wedge that in there for me. Any cheese, Claire? Trevor Jack of all trades, then. All right, moving on. The next flavor family is sweets. So why don't we use our cookies and cream bar? It's made from sweet cocoa butter. Go ahead and take it out. Let's use those pots.
Smell. Is it good?
I could agree more mixing pots. Now the next flavor family
Yummy. Eat mo na rin, eat.
be earthy.
Nicole, eat.
So if you are going to find a full-size Hershey's milk chocolate bar.
Ganda ng mga ano, no?
Ready to share or maybe
Happy?
just enjoy for yourself? But either way, it's delicious. Be joyful. Now, any moment, the bell is going to open that door as you venture back out into the chocolate world. Do take your newfound chocolatey knowledge and never be afraid.
Next is trolley work. Trolley works. Wow.
If we don't want people that aren't with you to sit with you.
Can I give one to Nina?
Yeah.
Nina, here you go.
Okay, thank you. Yay. Sasakay kami doon, no? We're gonna ride over there on the trolley. So, Hershey, Pennsylvania. Go this way, Nico. Gonna go ride there. Nico, this is your first time to ride the trolley, Nico? Wow. Look. Wow. Nice. Yeah, we're coming. Go inside. Okay, we're gonna go inside. Go inside. Go. Hello, good, thank you. Yeah, we're inside the trolley now. So cool. Hi. Oh, we're in the trolley ride. Yeah.
Turn in a corner. It's only going to get better from here. All right. Well, Diane does a great job giving us a nice smooth ride all through town today. In fact, it's
cool,
so smooth,
right?
you might forget Diane's up here, but don't forget Diane. Give her a good thank you on the way out for me.
Thank you, Diane.
Now, I have an important question to get us started today. Is there anyone here who likes chocolate?
Oh, you
All right,
chocolate.
good. At least half of you. That's a good start. All right, well, if you like chocolate and you like stories, you're in the right place today. We're going to take you out first to our flagship manufacturing center, the world's largest, most technologically advanced chocolate factory, the West Hershey plant. After that, we're going to turn around and take you downtown to the old factory where everything first got started. And finally, we're going to take you onto the campus of the Milton Hershey School. Anybody familiar with the Milton Hershey School at all? From 1904 to 1946, Hershey was very much a trolley town. Trolleys were an important part of the vision that Milton Hershey had for his town. Of course, this was the time before there was a car in every driveway. We needed trolleys to get workers to work, to get kids to school. We even used special trolleys to get the milk from the farm into the factory. And of course, you could always hop on a trolley just to have a good time. It didn't hurt that the fare was only a nickel back then. And so, trolleys became a symbol of Mr. Hershey and his town, his candy, and his school. So let's talk about Hershey, Pennsylvania today. It's a small town, only about 25,000 population, but a big tourist destination. On a regular busy day in the summer, we can easily double our town population just with the folks who are coming here to Hershey's Chocolate World, our visitor center. The Chocolate World opened up on June 30th, 1973. The day before, you still could have gone downtown to the original chocolate factory and taken a tour through the factory where the chocolate was so close you could pretty much reach out and touch it. That sort of became a problem when we started seeing over 1 million people a year coming through a factory that was never designed for tours and reaching out and touching the chocolate. So they opened up Chocolate World in 1973 to take care of all that. It has since become the #1 most visited corporate visitor center. We've seen over 100 million visitors since that time. Now, I told you we can double the town population on a busy day. It gets better than that. Let's say it's July 4th weekend. Maybe we have a concert in town, like Luke Bryan came through this July. Now we can triple the town population in one day. But in September, it gets even better than that. We have America's largest RV show. We cover all these parking lots with RVs everywhere. In October, we bring in the Antique Auto Show. We get people from all over the world come to visit. In one weekend, we can see over 200,000 visitors to Hershey, Pennsylvania. So in a regular, non-COVID year, we see somewhere between 3 and 4 million visitors to Hershey. They come here to Chocolate World, to Hershey Park, and they come over here to the Giant Center. This is our arena. This was built in 2 sponsor, Giant Foods. And they bring all kinds of events out here. We had James Taylor a month or 2 ago. We had Disney on Ice a couple weekends ago, the Harlem Globetrotters. We get the state basketball championship over here, the state wrestling championship. But most of us locals just think of the Giant Center as the home of our local professional sports team, the Hershey Bears, who just started playing hockey again. Now they got their start actually as the Hershey Bars. That's what the jersey said, no kidding. B'*ARS is what was written on the jersey. Well, they joined the American Hockey League and they said, guys, you can't be the Hershey Bars, you got to put the E back in there. And so they've been the Hershey Bears ever since. Now, they're the... Ooh, that's a mouthful. Don't worry, it gets worse. They called her Fanny.
We are here inside the...
We don't know why. Maybe she couldn't get them to stop. But anyway, the very next year, guess who was born? Milton S. Hershey. Bonus points. Anybody know what the S stands for? Somebody said it. Snavely. That's right. Some people guess sugar, but Snavely's actually the right answer. His mom's maiden name, Milton Snavely Hershey, born at the Hershey homestead in 1857. All right, we're going to plant here, and you can see our Hershey Kiss bushes and our Hershey Kiss street lights. And yes, Hershey Kisses are the #1 product made over here.
Oh, hi, Nico.
Lots of kissing going on in that factory every day. We'll tell you all about this place when we get around back, then you'll really be able to appreciate how enormous this building is. Okay, so let me tell you about his parents, Henry and Fanny Hershey. They were farmers, at least they were supposed to be farmers. Fanny didn't have any problem with that. She came from a long line of farmers. She was a very simple, very plain, very religious Mennonite woman. She would dress in a simple outfit. She worked hard from morning till night. And that was the way Fanny did things. But her husband, well, they were like night and day. Henry was a dreamer. He always had his nose in a book and his head somewhere up in the clouds. He was a writer, a painter, an inventor, a bit of an entrepreneur. He came up with some interesting ideas. Came up with some of the first coin-operated vending machines. He came up with a recipe for medicating cough drops. He tried canning vegetables. That was an explosive experience. He made some candy cabinets for Milton to use in his store. 1869, 70 years later almost. And then they had the nerve to double it to a dime. People were outraged. Well, I can tell you the chocolate bar did get smaller, but they kept it the same price until 1969. But anyway, his Hershey bar was so immensely popular, he decided he would sell his caramel company and build the world's largest chocolate factory. There's a construction site right out there to that site. Hold on to that for a few minutes. I'm going to tell you what they're going to build there in just a few minutes. This is the beginning of the Milton Hershey School right here on your right. These are some of our student homes at Milton Hershey. The story of the school, though, starts with the story of an Irish Catholic lass by the name of Catherine Elizabeth Sweeney. She was born in Jamestown, New York in 1871. When she was about 25 years old, she was socializing with some friends at a candy store, of course, and in walks a handsome Swiss-German Mennonite man who happened to be a millionaire in the candy industry. Who knows if that got him noticed at all? And before you know it, Milton's taking a lot more business trips to Jamestown, and nobody can quite figure out why. In fact, he didn't even tell his mom he was getting married till about a year and a half later, right before the wedding in New York City, St. Patrick's Cathedral. He married Kitty on May 25th, 1898. So Milton and Kitty were married in 1898. They had a wonderful marriage, but they did have one problem. They found out early on Kitty was unable to have children. And this was devastating to them. They really wanted to raise a family of their own. Well, in 1909, Kitty had a fantastic idea. She said, if we can't have any kids of our own, why don't we start a school for fatherless boys? And that's what they did. In 1910, the first 4 boys moved into the Hershey homestead, and that was the very humble beginning of the Hershey Industrial School, which has now become the Milton Hershey School, which you see all around you with about 1,900 students who live here on over 4,000 acres of land. This is just the South Campus. This is for the elementary students and our high school students right up here. This is Spartan Commons. You'll be able to see a big courtyard that opens up here to the right. It's a circular courtyard with state-of-the-art buildings all around it. What you can't see beyond the courtyard is a 7,000-seat football stadium out there. A couple of baseball fields, 8 tennis courts, 3 indoor gyms, 2 indoor swimming pools, and an ice hockey rink all out that way part of the school. This is Founders Hall. It was dedicated on Milton's birthday in 1970, 25 years after he passed away. Named in honor of the founders, Milton and Kitty Hershey. Now this is the headquarters of the school, the different refineries. Anyway, he enjoyed Cuba except for the living conditions. He thought they were terrible, so he started building better homes for his factory workers. He built a trolley line, an orphanage, a hospital, a school. Does it all sound familiar to you? It sounded so familiar they started calling the town Central Hershey, Cuba. And so by 1929, when the stock market crashed, he had made an entirely separate fortune off of sugar. And so he was very well set up during the Great Depression, and his advisors told him, don't spend that money. You keep that sugar money. We might need it to save your company. And he said, gentlemen, that's not the way I operate. He came back to Hershey and he used that money to save his town instead. He went on what we call the Great Building Campaign during the Great Depression, built no less than 7 major buildings during that time. In 1929, we showed you the community center. In 33, the hotel. In 34, Catherine Hall. In 35, they did the big expansion to the factory. In 36, the arena. 37, the gardens. And in 39, Hershey Park Stadium. He added over 600 jobs just in construction. And so he would go on to say that nobody in Hershey lost their job because of the Great Depression. In fact, to his knowledge, nobody even took a pay cut, which is pretty amazing. Look here down the hill, you'll see a barrel-shaped building. That is the old Hershey Park Arena. That's where the Hershey Bears first started playing ice hockey. It's where the Ice Capade started in 1940, but its most famous date came March 2nd, 1962, when Wilt Chamberlain came to town with the Philadelphia Warriors. He broke 5 scoring records that still stand today, the big one being he scored 100 points in a single game that night. In front of that, the Hershey Park Stadium. We used that for concerts all summer. This year it was the Zac Brown Band and Maroon 5 and Jonas Brothers and Dead & Company. And then in the fall, they play soccer and football down there. The state soccer and football championships are here in Hershey. But as we come down the hill, I get to tell you one of my favorite stories about my all-time favorite Hershey's candy. How many of you would say number 1 on your list is the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup? Oh, we got some Reese's fans. Woo, all right. Well, there's a reason it's not called the Hershey Peanut Butter Cup. Mr. Hershey did not invent this one. It was invented by a man named Harry Burnett Reese, who used to work as a dairyman for Milton Hershey, worked in his factory for a while. In the early 1920s, he decided he'd go into business for himself. He was making candy in his basement on Areva Avenue. He thought if Milton can make millions selling candy, surely he could make enough to support his family. That all sounds reasonable until you know that he and his wife Blanche had 16 children. Woo! Yes. Well, he was a smart man. He used them for advertising. He put a picture of all 16 kids and it said 16 reasons you should buy a Reese's. He also named some of his candy after his kids. He came up with a Lizzie bar and a Johnny bar. But they say it was his wife Blanche who actually had the idea of putting 2 great tastes that taste great together, peanut butter and chocolate, and in 1928, the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup was born. Well, he always used Hershey chocolate to cover his peanut butter cups. He used Hershey machinery to make them. It was actually Milton Hershey who kept him from going out of business in the 1930s during the Depression when he gave him sugar on credit when nobody else would. Well, in the 1940s, everything changed during World War II when sugar was so scarce. He had to come down to just one product he was going to focus on. And he chose the one that required the least amount of added sugar, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. And of course, it took off. Eventually, he just got rid of all of his other products. And by 1950, he was Hershey's number 2 customer. Number 1 was still Frank Mars, by the way, all the way until the 1960s. Now, Harry Reese finally built that 3rd and largest factory here in town, the one we showed you from 1957.
na lang kami. Relax, tomorrow babalik na kami. Thank you, Ate, for the wonderful vacation. Ayan, good morning. Magche-check out na kami. Ay, kakain muna kami sa baba. Nicole, may bago kaming bagahe, oh. Sarap tulog mo na? Kain muna kami ng breakfast. At anong oras na ba? 6:30. Alis kami ng maaga. Para makauwi. Mahaba-haba ang ide-drive ni ate. Kaya ayun. Bye-bye na hotel. Thank you for the nice experience. Naka-hotel kami ni Nico, Shala. Thank you, Ats. Magbabay mo tayo sa magandang pailang. Hi. Look. Antay namin si ate, nagpunta sa taas. Nakalimutan niya yung susi. Tingnan mo to, lalaroin namin muna ni Nico. Shala, visitor fan.com. Ayan. Press it, dali. Mag-press something, Nicole, dali. Ay! Ano yan? Family Farm Quilts. Ay, ito pala. The Old Country Store. Wow! Yan pala nakalagay yung mga gustong mga pwedeng puntahan. Ayun, meron silang mga ano dito. Parang mini store. Pwede kang bumili. Mahal, oh. Yan. Ang M&M nila, $2. 6.2. Kaya dapat mag-grocery ka bago ka mag-check-in. Oo. Little tree. Ayan ang hotel. Ayan. Magwa-walk muna kami ni Nicole a little bit to show you how it looks like outside the hotel. So, hawak ka, mami. Wow. Umuusok yung bibig ko, oh. Kasi ang lamig na eh. Look, Nicole, do like this. Dali, dali, mama. Oy, wag ka ganyan. Halika na, dali. So, diyan kami nagstay. Babay ka na dyan sa hotel natin, dali. Bye-bye. Oh, ayan, aalis na kami. Ayan ang ano, itsura ng outside. This is how the outside look like. Ayun lang. Let's go. Bye-bye, Best Western Plus. Thank you for the nice memories. And we are going back. Breakfast na and goodbye na. We're going home today. Mwah! Thank you for joining us in our short vacation with Ninang Helda. Bye! Sabi mo, bye my friends! Bye mga kadarna, dali!
Bye.
Ayusin mo naman! Ayan. Breakfast. Second day breakfast. Yan na naman yung pancake. Yeah. Nicole, you like the pancake? Pancake? It's coming. Ah! Ayan, dali. Ito pala siya. Quick cakes. Yan ang pancake ni Nicole. Inaantay niyan. You waiting for your pancake?
I want whipped cream for the eyes and the mouth and syrup for the body.
Yan, ready na yung pancake ni Nicole. Oh, yan.
I want mine to be
Yay.
silly.
Yan, aalis na kami. We finish eating breakfast. So, kukunin na lang namin yung other things namin sa taas. And then, bye-bye na. We're going home. May swimming pool pala. I-check lang namin. So, mag-check out na kami. May gym pa rin, oh. May gym. Ito, gym.
That's what I used to
Ayan pala. Ay, nakalak. Ay, yung susi mo nga pala kasi. May swimming pool. Sayang. Mama kasi time.
Kaya nga, sana kung wala akong coffee.
May swimming pool. Next time, Nicole.
Papasok ka? Papasok ka?
Ha? Gusto mo po nga? Sige, yan mo.
Ikaw?
Wala na. Inano ko na. Kinuha ko na. Yun lang. Uwi na kami. Bye. Ayan. We got all our things. Bye-bye room. Bye. We're going home. Bye-bye ka na kayo, hotel. Dali. Bye-bye, hotel.
Bye.
Bye-bye ka, dali. Bye-bye ka.
Bye.
Bye-bye, bed. Uwi na kami. Ayan, bye. Okay, that's it. Let's go home. Spend the night in Hershey. See? You see the bear?
Yes.
So, going home. Nicole, you had fun? Hershey? Look. Ayan, na-stop over kami. We are here in Connecticut. Mga ilang oras pa. Another 4 more hours travel. So, let's go na. Let's go, Nico. Ayan, nag-CR lang kami. And we're gonna continue our travel home. We miss Charlotte. Thank you for joining us.